Hi guys, hope you're pila umamshengu. Welcome once again to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day just like myself. So today we have something different. We are out of our comfort zone. As you can tell, I'm not sitting on my couch. We are at Willie's. So for today's topic, we have an interesting one. Herein we'll be looking at buying a second-hand car or a pre-owned car. And so what I'll be doing for this episode is obviously I'll go in and check out some pre-owned vehicles, but I'm actually incorporating the legal side and the business side of things. Hence I mentioned that on this channel it's all about legal, law, basically business and lifestyle. So as I'm out here today, we're going to be definitely checking out the Consumer Protection Act. You know that just because you're buying a second-hand car, it doesn't mean that you don't have any rights, guys, whatsoever. Let us go in, and please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Umam Shengu. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you enjoy this session because I'm so excited. Hence, I said we're stepping out of our comfort zone. As you can definitely tell, we are outside. I went all out for you guys, anything for my subscribers, and I hope you definitely enjoy this session because I'm so excited. So let's go inside. Okay guys, just greeted the receptionist. Okay, the cars are gorgeous. I just started, but let me just, I'm not even sure how I'm gonna go row by row or what, but I'm definitely just taking you guys on this journey because these cars are pre-owned. So we have to look out for some certain things, and then we're gonna have a sit down later on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Come, let's check. What are we gonna check for? Let's just check for pre-owned SUVs. Yeah, I think I'm going to cap it like that. Pre-owned because I love big cars. Pre-owned SUVs. Check out these lights, the sleek design, the screen, metallic finishes, leather seats, the sunroof. Look at the sunroof. This is too beautiful.
Look at the driver. How many liters is this thing?
1.5. Check this out. Tigo. I'll show you. It's got that thing, so this is the boot space. So how do you close this off? What's that thing?
I know. If they used cars, we would have a machine.
Oh, I'm 2.5 wapumag. Because in gas, I wonder how much is it retailing for the thing? Jaguar. Okay, check out the interior. So this is a 2019 Toyota Corolla 1.2T XR CVT. It's a 5-door. So the original price was 309,900. So they say you save 31,000. It's now retailing for 278,900. So from financing point of view, they can finance it for 5,222 rands 15 cents per month. But obviously that depends on your credit score. Just want to show you something. You see, the mirror, something has happened. So with this, they are actually showing you that there's something wrong with the car. Obviously, minor scratches here and there. So these are the things that you need to look out for when you are actually buying a car. Guys, we've come to the end of the tour here at Wheelie, and the cars are gorgeous, obviously, but some do have dents, some do have scratches, some you can tell, this car has been around. But as I'll still be detailing more in terms of what you need to look out for, but I just want to say there is a car that I actually saw and then I liked, but you need to do your own research first. Don't forget that. Yes, you need to do your own research. There's We Buy Cars just up by the road, and then obviously you go and also trader, and then you check other things, and then once all of that is done, you still need to work your negotiating skills with the salesperson. The price that you see there, definitely if they want to sell the car, they'll go as low as they possibly can. Hi guys, welcome again to the channel. I hope you're doing well, and I'm just happy that you are tuned in for this exciting episode that we have in store for you. My name is Alwande Jabalala. I'm an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa. Without further ado, today we have such an interesting topic. In fact, all of our topics are interesting, but today it's so interesting because we actually went out of our way. We went out of our comfort zone. We're just not sitting here the entire episode, guys. Sipumile, we actually went out. This is a disclaimer. This does not constitute as legal advice. If you guys are requesting for legal advice, I suggest that you hire an attorney to assist you with your legal matters. And then also, I am not a salesperson. However, this video is just for the benefits of anybody or anyone who, for example, feels like they would like to buy, for example, a pre-owned vehicle or a second-hand, as they're normally called that. So this video is definitely for you. And again, I am no car expert, guys. I'm no salesperson. I'm no car expert. I myself, this is also general knowledge and what legally that I know that needs to be done. And also, I'm in contact with salespeople, so I understand, I've bought a car before, etc. So when I went out today, we actually went out to Wheelie. I kept on referring to Wheelies. We went to Wheelie just to get a feel of exactly how do these pre-owned vehicles look. Are they damaged? Is it like hectic damages? Because I've been to an auction before, and one thing I can tell you is, no, sometimes the damages are so visible. You're actually buying it, the car as is. But then here, I actually wanted to get a feel how a dealership works, And then again, don't forget, for this whole episode, we're going to keep on referring to the CPA, which is known as the Consumer Protection Act of South Africa. Guys, whenever we are doing a video, we need to back it up with legislation, how we as the consumers are protected. Okay, stay tuned in. And before we proceed, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I look forward to your subscriptions, guys. Thank you so much for the love so far. Cool. So let us get to it. By the end of this video, guys, we need to have answered 3 questions. What is the Voetstoots Clause? Number 2, how does the Consumer Protection Act, the CPA, protect you as a buyer? Number 3, what is the legal cause? One thing that I love about this topic is that hence our channel, it's law, business, and lifestyle. The lifestyle part, like for example, today we actually went out of our way to just show you, give you guys a feel of what takes place in the dealership. How does it look? How are the cars there? Whether they're pre-owned or they are new from the box, And then also we're incorporating it with legal and also business, guys. Hence I'm stating that whether you want to buy the car for Uber, for your business, whichever one that is applicable to you, if you know that you have a car, then definitely, or you intend on buying a car, or you just purchased a car and you are within the 6-month warranty, I'll stipulate that further on the video, what I mean with regards to the CPA on that. But this video is definitely for you. In fact, all of our videos on this channel are for you, but I'll just keep on emphasizing this video is definitely for you. Stay tuned in. So, firstly, we need to understand the difference between patents and latent defects. Okay, so by patents defects, those are the defects that are commonly visible or identified upon inspecting the goods. Just like, for example, on this car. When I went to Willie, I actually saw, if you can see here, there was something wrong with the mirror. I think this person, either when they were trying to park, they got into an accident and they didn't want to fix the mirror. But as you can see, and then for other vehicles, I saw other, like for example, there was no window. You know, some people do sell their cars like that, especially if you're involved in an accident. You just don't want to spend so much on a car. So it's a broken door, it's damaged tiles, it's cracks, for example. Okay, it's a broken door, it's scratches and dents, the mirror, the windscreen. Those are patents because they are commonly visible to any other person. However, latent defects, on the other hand, they are hidden. They are not obvious. You know, if you are looking at the outer body of the car, I mean, the first thing that we see when we are looking at vehicles is the outer body. So I actually don't know what's going on inside. There would not have been a visible or discoverable thing upon my inspection when I went today. Hence the reason why I actually wanted to go and see. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I went to Wheelie, the cars were gorgeous, guys. Whether the mileage was high, it was low, they were gorgeous. But sometimes I'll be like, I wonder what is hidden underneath there. Like, for example, what do you have? Like, I want to know. However, I will not be able to see that, you know, because number one, I'm no mechanic. Okay, even the salesperson is no mechanic. Remember, the salesperson is there to sell a car. They are no mechanics as well. They are there to sell cars. Don't forget that. We've defined what are patents, what are latent. This is to assist you with reference to the below. When you bought a car, was your defects patent? Was it latent? You'll note whichever one is applicable in your scenario. Like, for example, when you drove your car, oil started leaking. You know, that was not visible because you didn't go underneath the car to check if there were any leakages on any pipes. The sunroof wasn't closing properly. In as much as you would have tried the sunroof when you were test driving the car, but then now you actually notice when it was on a rainy day, you wanted, like there's a defect, for example, it keeps on jamming. Those panoramic sunroofs, they keep on jamming. You see that one? It's a latent, in fact, because it was not visible when you were inspecting the car. There was no jamming that took place on that day. Or maybe you saw the sunroof, you just didn't decide to turn it on or off. Like, you didn't like check if everything was in order. So guys, in as much as I'm going to be giving you basing it in terms of legal, we all know what you need to do when you're buying a car. Either it is pre-owned, either it is new from the box. You need to test drive your car. I actually looked at Wheelie. I saw some quite few good cars there, and then I asked if I could test drive. They said yes, you just book for a test drive. So if I am interested, I just go and book for a test drive. Guys, don't be hasty in your decisions. Do not be hasty. And I've noticed in most cases, these things usually happen around about December. You want a December when you want to go home. Everyone wants to come with a new car in December. Okay? So people will be rushing the process. Yabo. In such a way, even if you get a bad deal, actually gonna put up a bad deal. I actually saw it. This one has been making rounds on social media. Hey, this person is almost paying 19% of interest. That's a bad deal, okay? You have actually surpassed the prime interest rate. You've went above, you've doubled it on honesty, 19% on interest. But yeah, so don't forget, in as much as we are providing you with your rights as the consumer, don't forget as well that you yourself as the consumer, you need to go out of your way and double check the vehicle that you're purchasing. Yeah, so that you don't like find yourself in this predicament. But it's understandable especially if the defects were latent. It's understandable. Even if they were patent, within that 6-month period, the warranty, you can therefore send it back to the dealer. So what exactly is the Voetstoots Clause? The Voetstoots Clause is a provision in terms of the sale agreement which stipulates that the purchaser, in this case the buyer, the consumer, buys the property from the seller as it stands and therefore indemnifies the seller against any claim for damages in respect of any defects on those goods, whether they were patent or latent. Now you see the importance of why I actually defined those terms. So along came the Consumer Protection Act, which was enacted in 2008, you know, because it noticed that The buyer and the seller were not on an equal footing. Number one, the seller is the one who gives you that sale agreement. You sign. So when you are buying a car, it means that you and I, the buyer and the seller, in terms of the dealerships, we are not on an equal footing because you have the advantage. You already know what is wrong with the car. I don't. So obviously, when I'm looking at the outer body of the vehicle, I am just ticking all the boxes, only to find out that I'm actually getting involved in a bad deal. For example, this car is leaking somewhere, or there's like some latent defects that I was not even made aware of. So that's where the Consumer Protection Act comes in to protect the consumers. And also, I just want to inform you guys that the CPA does not only take effect on consumers, but also on the businesses, So these are the parts that I want you to highlight. We're going to be mentioning almost from 1 up until 8, what you need to be looking out for when you are purchasing a pre-owned car or buying a car with regards to the motor vehicle industry. So let's just list those things. So the CPA says that disclosure, number 1, the dealer is obliged to disclose any faults to the car. The dealer must list all the reconditioning that the car has been exposed to. The dealer must disclose the car's first registration year and code statutes. Like, for example, if you are noting, like, when you are buying a car, it was even states the model number. All of those things, they have to be stated there. The first registration, if you purchased it in 2020, it needs to be 2020. It needs to be known. And therefore, not forgetting that the term Voetstoots is no longer permitted under the sale of any normal transaction. In this case, when you are buying from a dealer, it's a transaction. Otherwise, guys, I just want to highlight to you, unless it's a private sale, because private sales, I'm no dealership. When I'm selling my car, online on Facebook Market, I'm not dealership. And again, it's not something that I'm doing on a normal day-to-day or course of my business. I'm selling this car, it's a once-off thing. Maybe I'll sell another car in 4 years. But this one I'm selling it as a once-off. I can therefore institute a Voetstoots clause. However, that can happen in terms of dealerships or people who are actually in the motor industry. And then I just want to notify with regards to the disclosure, all the cars actually can be sold as scrap. Roadworthy certificates on such a car implies a 6 months warranty clause in this case. Warranty means fits for the purpose for which it was purchased for. You need to understand what that warranty means. Hence, I've mentioned 6 months. In terms of the CPA, it will keep on referring to that 6 months warranty. So when you buy a car, you are given 6 months before you return it or request for repairs done or a refund, actually. Number 2 of the list. Number 1 was disclosure. Number 2 is wear and tear. So the buyer is obliged to sign for accepting the car as a used car. So your pre-owned vehicles, your second-hand vehicles, you need to actually acknowledge and state that, okay, no, I understand the normal wear and tear. Your scratches, I've noticed with my vehicle as well, it's just got minor scratches. I think it's an everyday life thing for vehicles, That's one thing. So the buyer must sign his or her awareness of the level of wear and tear. Disclosure, wear and tear. Let's move on now to number 3, the right to return the car. As a car buyer, you have the right to return the used bought car to the car seller within 6 months. I had mentioned this before just now. Within 6 months, only under particular conditions, excluding wear and tear. Hence, I said, your normal scratches, that's just normal wear and tear, guys. So that one, you can't say in 6 months, oh, the car has been scratched. Maybe you even scratched it, by your bag, your car keys, your jewelry, whatever rough thing that you had on your hand. Cars are very... they are very silk, but any small detail, you are able, when you are parking your door, you banged it, it hits the concrete, something, man, So that is just normal wear and tear. So you can't return a car within 6 months by saying there has been some wear and tear, unfortunately not. But the car buyer, within the right to return the car buyer has a right to prove a legitimate defect, or that the car was sold not for the purpose he or she bought it for. So a legitimate defense in this case would be, or defect in this case would be, the oil pipe is leaking. So it means, number 1, I'm spending more on oil. Number 2, my car doesn't keep oil when you park your car in a garage. Underneath, you should double check first. If you see black, it means that it's been leaking for ages. It's just a map that happens to show ukuthi imoto iyavuza. So that's an oil leakage, yabo. And you are proving a legitimate defect herein, okay? And therefore, you as the buyer have a right to request for a refund, repair, or replacement. Keep note that there is a particular time frame or a process of 3 months for resolving these car disputes. So guys, don't come on the last minute on the 6th month. I'm just telling you now, don't come before your warranty ends and list all of those things, because there's also the 3 months window to try and resolve. And in most cases, dealerships will always tell you, let us repair the car for you. They'll provide you with a courtesy car. They will attempt to repair the car whatsoever. Comes back only to find out that the same thing is going to happen again within the next few months. And guys, this is not an option to say you can opt for. You can actually say, there's a defect, I've listed this, I've had the car for 2 months, I've got pictures of oil leakages from my garage is brand new, even the flooring is brand new, I never had an oil mark, however now I have one. This is a defect, I'm returning it to you guys. Obviously the dealer can attempt to just check if there really is a leakage, and then they can tell you, no, we can replace it. If you are saying no, that's okay, we stop it right there. But in most cases, I'm telling you guys, you will be pressurized or put in a corner to take a replacement instead. They'll say, no, this is going to affect you, etc., etc., because they want to sell the car at the end of the day. That is what dealerships do. They sell cars. Number 4, the cooling off period. The cooling off period only applies if the offer to purchase or an installment sale agreement, in this case where it was not sold on the car sellers or financing institutions' premises, or if the car was sold by direct marketing. So in this case, there's a cooling off period that you just need to take note of. Number 5, the price. You have a right to receive a fair, legal, and reasonable price. The CPA says that when purchasing a used car, okay, the price matters. That is why, guys, for all cars, there's almost like a benchmark. Whether you are buying on any of these advertising platforms on Auto Trader, you are buying from We Buy Cars, you're buying from Wheelie, not an auction. Remember, an auction is something else. I'm just talking about your normal motor industries, etc. You'll always be looking, for example, at a Polo TSI 1.6 liters. I don't know cars. I'm just guessing. I hope there's a car like that. If it's ranging at 500k, the next dealer will have it at 510, 520, 525. Maybe one they will have it at 495. Maybe there's a sale there. But you see that there's an average amount. So that is why I would always inform you guys that if you actually want to be looking at cars, you do your proper research. I find Auto Trader, and by the way, this is no advertisement, but I find Auto Trader to give me a benchmark. Yeah, I'll go on Auto Trader, I list the vehicle that I want, I see all the people who are offering that vehicle, the kilometers are stipulated there. Obviously, I still need to do my parts by going in and double checking that vehicle, but already I've narrowed it down. Rather than just going to one dealer and saying, I want this car, you're not going to get a good deal if you just go to one dealer. That is why it's good for you to shop around. And another thing, don't forget, even when you're shopping around, when you go to a dealer and you already, let's just say, I'm based here in Centurion and the dealer is right here in Centurion. However, the car that I just saw is in Johannesburg. So I'm lazy to go to Johannesburg, okay? Or even if I do go to Johannesburg just to shop around, then I come back to the Centurion deal. Same mileage, one is 12,000, one is 11,500, almost the same difference. So I come and say to the Centurion deal, hey, I've got this car elsewhere. Beat this price. In as much as we as the consumers, we can. That's a negotiating skill. Obviously, the salesperson will almost attempt to lock you in on their deal. Always go down to what they've given you guys. We all know that is just sales 101. Okay, whatever you're being offered, you must note. I always say it's been just exaggerated a little bit. Tell them to bring it down a notch and then you start talking. And that's when you'll be getting phone calls left, right, and center. They'll be telling you, okay, Ms. Jabalala, your deal, we've actually re-looked at it, etc. And now instead of paying 400k cash for the car, we're going to give you the car on 380,000. It's just an example, wishful thinking, obviously. But yeah, whatever. And especially if you found some defects, as I was at Wheelie, I actually saw the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro. That car was gorgeous. But I noticed something. It doesn't have the thing, I don't know, by your boots, that closing off thing. So I asked the salesperson, they said, oh, clearly when that car was sold, the seller at the time didn't have. So I said, oh, it means minus 2.5. When I'm buying, if I'm buying this car, I have to say I'm minus it. In as much as it's pre-owned, guys, I need to cover my boot. So right now the boot is open-ended, like that black thing, that sliding black thing that is there. It's open-ended. Even my car has it right now. So where am I gonna get it? Because it means I need to go out of my way to get one from wherever, and I'm not sure where I'm gonna get it. So I said to this salesperson, that means I'm gonna minus 2.5. Oh, it was just an estimate. I don't know how much the thing retails for, but if I really wanted that car, I'll just look and therefore say, no guys, but just let's rework this whole pricing thing. I need to cover that thing. So right now it's not there. And also bearing in mind, if I were able to get a second-hand one, that's another one. If I'll be able to get one to just install and put there. Number 6, using the product safely. It is the car buyer's responsibility to sign a declaration asserting that the car is a dangerous item and therefore will not be able to file a claim of being harmed by the car. Imagine you're buying a car, now you want to sue the seller because the car harmed you, you got involved in an accident. Unless there was a defect, but if you're driving rough, obviously you'll definitely get into an accident one day. So that one is simple and straightforward. Number 7, rights to documentation. Car buyers have a right to receive copies of the relevant documents related to purchasing the car and signing off receipt of all documentation. Also, requesting the service history of the car, guys. If you're buying a pre-owned car, you want to know if the previous buyer took care of the car. One of the cars that I was actually viewing today, I actually double-checked something. I looked at the service book. And then, guys, number 8, the last one here is the 6 months implied warranty. I've been speaking about this all throughout. So in this case, the car buyer has a right to ensure that the seller stands claim to the reasonable durability of the car period of 6 months. An implied warranty on the defects within purchasing that car at the dealership. 6 months. But with that in mind, it is also the buyer's responsibility to understand what wear and tear means. Tires, exhaust, clutch, brake pads, etc. Those fall under wear and tear. And defects, for example, a gear suddenly jumping up, the malfunctioning of a gear, therefore the proof will be required therein. So I just wanted to differentiate between those two. You therefore have a right to receive a written warranty where the warranty may be less, equal to more than 6 months. And you also have a right to extend an aftermath warranty. Obviously, those extended warranty services are being offered by certain companies herein, so you can also do that. And I just want to highlight something, in as much as I'm specifying these things in terms of the CPA, it doesn't necessarily apply to pre-owned vehicles. Guys, a brand new car can malfunction at any stage. Depends on the brand. Maybe it was just a bad badge, we don't know. So still, the same thing will still be applicable, whether yours was brand new or it was pre-owned. The Ombudsman states that in the practice notes that a supplier can sell goods in a particular condition in terms of section 55 subsection C. But this would require that the quality and defects of the goods must be described in detail to the consumer. If the seller points out the defects before the sale of the agreement and the consumer buys the goods, the consumer can therefore not hold the seller liable for that defect later on because you were informed prior. That's what the Ombudsman is saying. So this is in line with the philosophies under the CPA that a consumer is bound by an agreement that was entered into after getting sufficient, truthful, and accurate answers or information. However, if a contract contains exclusions, restrictions, limitations, or deprivations, these clauses must comply with the certain provisions of the CPA according to section 4, subsection 4b of the CPA. A contract, standard form of an agreement or document containing a restriction, limitation, exclusion, or deprivation of a consumer's rights must be interpreted to benefit the consumer. Remember that. And again, section 48, subsection 1c further stipulates that a supplier is not allowed to require consumers to waive their rights or waive the liability of a supplier or assume any obligations that are of unfair or unreasonable or unjust. So you are still trying to protect the consumer, hence it's called the Consumer Protection Act. Now, let's look at the available legal recourse. So you've bought a car and within the 6 months period, your car has got defects, either latent or patent. It's okay. Number 1, What's your recourse? Obviously, there's been a breach of the CPA. If you bought a vehicle that is defective and fails to comply with the standards in terms of Section 55 of the Consumer Protection Act, as I've just mentioned above, it is in breach of those provisions of the CPA. In this case, you may return the vehicle to the supplier without penalty of course and at the supplier's risk and expense within 6 months after delivery of the vehicle. You may then request that the supplier either repair or replace the vehicle or refund you the price paid, However, it is important to consider whether the vehicle was used after you became aware of the defects. The time lapse between becoming aware of the defects and returning it to the dealer or informing them that they need to repair it or refund you may result in the dealer rightfully not providing you with a full refund. This will depend on the exact facts of the matter, obviously, and it will differ on a case-by-case basis. I always mention this on my videos. What is applicable to party A might not be applicable to party B. So, guys, when you find out that your car is leaking, but you take 3 months to report it, that's a red flag. You are meant to report it as and when you find out. The CPA does not apply if the goods were altered or tampered with by the consumer after delivery. So it's important that you do not try and fix the vehicle yourself. In most cases, don't do it because you don't know what the dealership will say. They'll just say, no, by you actually taking it, you took it to a repairing shop that is not enlisted. They'll list all of these things, and in a way, your warranty will now be void. If there was fraud or misrepresentation now, if the seller was aware of the defects and failed to disclose it to you, you can hold the seller liable for a fraudulent misrepresentation. You, as the purchaser, will need to prove that there was a defect at the time of the conclusion of the contract or sale agreement herein, and the seller deliberately concealed it. If you can successfully prove this, you can either claim monetary damages for fixing the defects if you did, or B, if the defect is serious, cancel that sale and claim repayment of the purchase price and interest thereon. Or 3, claim a price reduction. But obviously, the recourse would also be available. The fraudulent misrepresentation part will also be available, even if your sale agreement does not fall within the ambit of the CPA. So even if it's a private sale, if there was fraudulent misrepresentation, I'm still covered in terms of the legal recourse right now. Number 3, in terms of the legal recourse, breach of sale agreement. Under certain circumstances, your sale agreement may set out specific warranties to the seller, for example, that the vehicle is free of any defects and has not been involved in an accident. If you later find out that there are indeed defects or the vehicle was involved in an accident, you can also claim a breach of sale agreement. I don't know how you'll be finding these things out, guys, but I'm saying if you find out, then you can still claim, in terms of a breach of a sale agreement. In this case, you can either claim monetary damages for fixing the defect, or B, if the defect is serious, you can cancel the sale and claim repayment of the purchase price and interest thereon, or 3, lastly, claim a price reduction. So now with a CPA, can you go to court, or you just only meant to utilize the CPA? The CPA is applicable to your transaction. You may only approach the courts if all the avenues that are listed on Section 69 in the CPA have been exhausted. Our courts hold that where a specialized framework has been created by legislature for the resolution of disputes, parties must, as a general principle, pursue claims through such frameworks. Guys, courts get full. Litigation is expensive. So if legislation has provided some dispute resolution committees, therefore those ones need to be utilized first. The dispute resolution mechanisms available to a consumer in terms of a Section 69 include the following: referring a matter to a consumer tribunal, the applicable ombud within your jurisdiction, the applicable industry ombud accredited in terms of Section 82 of the Motor Industry Ombudsman of South Africa, the Consumer Court, Alternative Dispute Resolution, the National Consumer Commission. If you approach the dealer, for example, and refuses to act in accordance with the CPA by repairing the vehicle or refunding you, depending on what you requested, you'll need to submit a complaint under the Motor Vehicle Ombudsman South Africa in terms of Section 82 of the CPA. This is a free service, again, available to all consumers. If you are still not satisfied by the outcome of the disputes provided by MIOSA, which is the motor industry ombudsman South Africa, you will need to lodge an appeal with the National Consumer Commission, as I've mentioned above. And if still aggrieved, you will have to take the matter further to the National Consumer Tribunal. If the CPA is applicable, legal action through the courts can only be embarked on after the process that I've just mentioned above has been finalized and the outcome is still not to your satisfaction. Don't just rush firstly to take things to court. Tribunals, alternative dispute resolution, National Consumer Commission, consumer courts, all of those things first. You need to exhaust all of those. However, if the CPA is not applicable at all, like you are not a consumer, it was a direct sale, then definitely you can just approach the court directly. So guys, what have we learned? We've learned what the Voetstoots Clause is, right? We have actually learned what we need to take note of in terms of the CPA. I've listed those 8. And then also, lastly, we have just summarized in terms of what is the legal course available to you. Okay, so I hope that for this video, you found it as entertaining and informative as I had the pleasure of actually doing this video. I'm actually going to be doing more videos outside of the comfort of my home. I actually saw that it brings light to myself as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So when you are buying a pre-owned car or any vehicle, if you are buying directly from the motor vehicle industry, take note of this video. It is vital information. I hope whether you're a first-time buyer or you've purchased cars beforehand, you still found this information to be very useful to you. And I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate your support. Please just don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel, because we always give you guys authentic content that you will utilize or in most cases need in terms of your daily routines. So thank you so much for joining me once again. Umam Shengulo is now signing out. Have a great night.